Okay, so now once again, before I even get started, I want to say a couple of things. I make this schedule off of the survey. So if you want certain topics, make sure you fill out the survey. You got to be in it to win it. I try to incorporate what everyone wants in the survey. So make sure that when I pass that out for the March visits, that you fill that out. If you haven't had a chance to register for the conference, I'll do a quick demo on that. I know that some of you have. I've seen the registrations. So what you do is you go to, and let me refresh this because this is old, the third annual ACE conference. And then in order to get your free ticket, you have to put in ACE all the way, and it is case sensitive. So you have to make sure that you put it in that way, then hit apply and you'll get your discount. If you're bringing multiple people, you just put in that quantity and it's going to give you fields to fill in their names and you'll get the discount for the one ticket. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, make sure that you do that. We've already had like 25 people sign up, and that's going up every day. And this has only been live for, I want to say, 2 weeks. So make sure that you get in and get your seat saved so that there is room for you. We would love to have you there. We're not having any bacon. I tried. But we will have other exciting things. So having said that, I'm going to hop into this session. So someone wanted to know about the different software that we recommend, and I'm going to go through this. This is not a comprehensive list at all. I made this while I was up watching figure skating last night, so some things got left off accidentally, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through. I tried to break this down based on topics, arbitrage levels, so that you know what it looks like. But for analyzing products, we recommend Keepa and Camel. If you aren't familiar with those, that Keepa helps you to see the price history of that item. There are a couple of videos on the Matrix in the analyzing product section that go over how to use Keepa and how to use Camel. So if you aren't familiar with those, I highly recommend that you get familiar with those and start using them. Sometimes people will buy products and they'll send them into Amazon, and they'll send them in and then they'll start losing money on the product. And I'll go, did you look at the Keepa graph? And they'll go, no, and we'll look at it, and it's on a downward trend price-wise. So make sure that you use the tools that are available to you. Another one that we recommend is RevSeller. It is a Chrome extension, and you use it to see things at a snapshot on the product page. For example, it'll tell you the seller's rank right there so that you don't have to scroll all the way to the product description to get that information. And it also has the variation viewer, which is a fantastic tool if you're getting into clothes and shoes, because you can sort it by number of reviews and it'll give you the most popular variations for that product. So it takes kind of the guesswork out of deciding what you want to buy. So if you're just overwhelmed, you have no idea where to start when you're doing clothes and shoes, RevSeller can definitely help with that. The other one is How Many extension, which has kind of been going through it the last couple of weeks, but we're going to be patient and give it a time to get it together. But what How Many does is when you're in the buy box and you're looking at your competition, it'll tell you how many they have in stock, which is very helpful when you're trying to think about if you want to get on a listing, what your competition is doing. Someone might have one product in stock and they're going to sell out soon, so they're going to drop off of the listing. So that's helpful software to have. Now for tactical arbitrage, and there are a ton in tactical arbitrage. I just gave some of the basics, or online arbitrage. There's tactical arbitrage, which is a powerful software that you can use to source on the websites in tactical arbitrage's database. I think there are about 400. I do have a list of popular stores on tactical arbitrage that we source from. So if you're interested in that list, email support and I will send that to you. Just ask for the stores for tactical arbitrage. Now, when you email me this stuff, guys, I'm going to be getting emails like nobody's business. So just be patient. I'll get them to you as soon as I can. But tactical arbitrage, what it does is you can tell it the parameters that you want to look for, the website, and you can say, I want you to start on page 1 and go all the way to page 100, and it will scan all of those products. Now, if you have tactical arbitrage and you're fighting with it like nobody's business and it's not doing what you want it to do, schedule a call with me and I'll try and clear some of those things up for you. But it does a product search, a reverse search, a library search, a wholesale search. I think those are all of them. So it's very powerful. I'm actually going to be showing you how to do a reverse search with tactical arbitrage tomorrow. And I'll be using Storefront Stalker and showing you how to use that. The other one that we recommend using is OA X-Ray. Now this one you can use on any website. It's a Chrome extension. You'll be able to analyze all the products on the page. Then you go to the next page and you can analyze the products there. And then Storefront Stalker, you can stalk someone's storefront. You can stalk Amazon bestsellers. You can get a list of all of their ASINs on that page or UPCs, and then run that through a bulk list or get ideas for other products to buy. So it's a form of following the rabbit trails. I'm going to talk about that towards the end of the day. Another software for online arbitrage I didn't talk about is the Cashback Watch extension, or the Ebates, so you can get that cash back. But there are a ton with online arbitrage. I just touched base on a couple of them. Then with retail arbitrage, you have the Amazon Seller app. You have Scoutify, and you have Profit Bandit. Scoutify and Profit Bandit are scanners. So when you go into the store, you can scan the products and get some statistical information. You can see the keeper graph, the sales rank, the number of sellers on there. If you're restricted on it, I don't know if Scoutify 2 does that yet. I know that Profit Bandit will, so that you don't have to use the Amazon Seller app and Scoutify. You can just use Profit Bandit because it'll tell you if you're allowed to sell something or not. And then you can make a buy list, and then you can upload that document into all of your software. So your purchase tracking template, you can use it to make to import things in bulk into Seller Central. You can use it to make bulk shipments. You can use that buy list to upload it into App Eagle, to Seller Engine. So it's fantastic to have. Even if you don't do RA and you want to compress everything into one file, you can use it when you come home. If you have OA that comes in, to just scan everything and make a buy list right there so that you have it all in one place. Yes.
Do you feel like the buy list and the Scoutify and the buy list and Profit Bandit are pretty much the same?
Yeah, it's the same, because we recommend people get Profit Bandit, but our own RA shopper uses Scoutify. So we do have a template for both in the matrix for purchase tracking and whatever. You just have to copy the desired fills into those templates and do whatever you need to do with them. It depends on the program that you're using, but it should have the information in both of them that you need. Some people just like the functionality of one over the other. Some people like the information that comes with one over the other. I haven't had a lot of time to play around with Scoutify 2 since it came out, but I know that Profit Bandit did more than Scoutify did. So that's something to think about. For wholesale, we have Scan Power Evaluate, Price Checker 2, Scan Sheet from Scanner Monkey. Those are all evaluation software. So what you use, tactical arbitrage is also one, but I didn't want to put it in two places. So the way wholesale works is you use the information that they give you, be it the UPCs or the titles, to evaluate those products and see how they're going to sell on Amazon. So it's going to give you the sales rank, the number of sellers, the FBA price, all of that information for you to be able to analyze it. And that software, those 3 different softwares, they're going to help facilitate that. Now, they each have their own features, their own pros, their own cons. with Price Checker, with a scan sheet, you just have to upload the file once, and then you just click a button and it'll automatically evaluate it. With Scan Power, you have to upload it every time you want to do it. But if wholesale is something that you're thinking about getting into, you might want to think about investing in one of these softwares so that you can run the list whenever you want. Now, if you're a member of our retail store, we do evaluate the lists, well, some of them for you on a weekly basis, and those are in the evaluated sheet. But if this is something that you're going to do full time, you might want to think about investing in your own software. The other thing I put on here is Shopify. Now, the reason I put this on here is for people that are looking to find their own wholesale accounts. So with a lot of wholesale vendors, they require that you have a brick and mortar store in order for them to do business with you. Some of them will allow you to not have a brick and mortar store, but you need to prove that you are selling these products. Some of them don't want you to sell them on Amazon, so you create your own website and say that you're selling them there. But with the Shopify, you can connect it to your Amazon account with a couple of plugins, and it can pull inventory from your Amazon account and fulfill it for you. So it's helpful to have this kind of dummy website set up. We actually have one for gyms. So let me see if it's working, because sometimes it's going through. Yep, so it's going through it right now. So, but we have a Shopify website for gyms where it has a shopping cart. I almost said a shipping cart. A shopping cart where you can check out and buy things and buy it through that website. So a Shopify is definitely something that you want to think about. You can do about us. You can break down different categories. So if you only want to sell clothes and shoes on there, you can do that. You have full control over the Shopify website. What you want to show is what will be shown. What you want it to look like is what it will look like. So if you're thinking about getting into wholesale, definitely think about setting up a Shopify account. So with private label, there's a ton of things with private label. We actually have a module in the matrix for private label. So if you're thinking about getting into private label, I recommend going through that whole module first before you go into it. Because with private label, there are a lot of things that you want to be aware of up front and not down the line when you're in the nitty-gritty of it and you're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. So I recommend going through that whole series before you get into it. Some of the software for that is Merchant Words and Scope. Both of those are used with keyword research. Scope is from Seller Labs. It is a fantastic software. You can look at other listings, your competition, download their keywords, see how it's tracking. It will rank them based on popularity. So it's great when it comes time to run sponsored ads or do your bullet points or do your product descriptions. It's fantastic to have. Even if you are creating your own listings for things, not necessarily private label, it can be a very valuable software to have. So those are great. The other thing is Jungle Scout. So you can use Jungle Scout, it's a Chrome extension, to do some research on different products that you want to buy. So you can type in, for example, fidget spinner and then hit Jungle Scout and see what the sales rank look like for the products on that page, what they're selling at, so that you can be competitively priced in the market. Because if you private label something and then you make it and you're selling it above what the market is for it, then you're already setting yourself up as a disadvantage. So you want to make sure that you do your due diligence and your homework before you get started on private label, and Jungle Scout is a really helpful tool. We also use Jungle Scout when we're thinking about opening up wholesale accounts. We'll do some research on the brand as a whole to see if it's worth getting into. So we'll look at the sales rank and the pricing and everything like that before we decide to open an account with the brand. So Jungle Scout has a couple different uses. Then there is Viral Launch, which we have an account with. If you're thinking about getting into private label and you have no idea how to launch your product, get your product out there, they are a great company that will help with that. We did a webinar with Casey Goss, who is the creator of Viral Launch. That is in the webinar and podcast module towards the bottom. So if you're thinking about taking a look at that, that's where it is. It's Casey Goss with Viral Launch. That's the name of the video, so take a look at that. We do have a discount with that, and I'm going to talk about that at the end actually. And then miscellaneous software that we recommend having, Excel. Of course, bread and butter Excel. If you are not familiar with Excel, please, please, please get familiar with Excel. You're going to need it. You're going to use it. Be familiar with it. Be comfortable with it. Play around with it. Watch YouTube videos on it. Whatever you need to do to familiarize yourself with it. Seller Engine, we use that to kind of manipulate the system to kind of say where we want our products to go shipping wise. Ike is going to talk about Seller Engine tomorrow. And then we have App Eagle, which is our repricer. When you get to a certain point, repricing is a huge part of being in the buy box and getting those sales. When you get to a certain level with your inventory, it makes it hard to have to reprice things manually and as frequently as you should. So we recommend getting a repricer. The one that we prefer is App Eagle, but there have been people, they use Be Cool or Excelco. So that's something to think about. Definitely, if you want to get one, we recommend App Eagle. We have a training series in the Matrix on it. Ike is also going to be talking about that tomorrow. And then Inventory Lab, my favorite. So Inventory Lab, and I can't say this enough, we use Inventory Lab for reports, not for shipments. I know that a lot of you are using Inventory Lab for shipments. It's not the best use of that software. It can be glitchy, cause errors that would normally happen. So if you're using Inventory Lab for shipments, try and rethink that. But definitely Inventory Lab is fantastic for running reports around tax time or just looking at how things are doing. Last in-office visit, Ike talked about a couple of helpful reports that you can look at with Inventory Lab, like ASIN profitability, the stores that you source at, how those products are doing. So Inventory Lab, if you use it properly and you update it, it can be a very helpful tool. And then I put Google Voice on here. So I don't know if you are familiar with Google Voice, but you can set up and have your own phone number through Google. You can call people through Google. You can text people through Google. So if you have it, if you don't want to give people your phone number, so if you're opening up wholesale accounts and things like that, you can set all of that up with Google Voice. So it's something to think about. So if I wanted to call you guys from home and didn't want you to have my home phone number, I could call you through Google Voice. So this is just a list of different software that we recommend. There is a ton other software that we use, that we talk about. We have several discounts with a lot of different software. So let me go to that real quick and show you how to get to it. So if you go onto the website and you go down to members files, there is a document right here called ACE Software Discounts, and this is a list of all of the different places that we have software discounts with. So if you are looking to get software, or you have software that you're already using, look into it and see if you can get a discount with this list. So RevSeller, I talked about that, App Eagle, ScanPower, OAX-Ray, How Many Extension, Jungle Scout, Restock Pro, BubbleFast, Storefront Stalker, Flipping It, Merchant Words, for Castly, Seller Labs, which is Scope, Solutions for E-commerce, Bulk List Builder, Viral Launch. We have discounts with all of those. So take a look. You can save yourself a little bit of money, and make sure that you are taking advantage of that. So do you have any questions? Yes.
So on Viral Launch, is that a monthly subscription you have to commit to? Or
They have different packages. So like if you look down here, depending on which one you sign up for, that's what the discount. Are there any other questions? Yes. Mm-hmm.
So for Keepa, Camel, if you're out there doing all right,
Mm-hmm.
what's the best way to access that? Like,
You should be able to access it through your scanning app.
Okay.
Through I know Scoutify, you can get right to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's depending on what phone you have. It's like the 3 lines over to the side. You should be able to access it. With one, you can access it in one. hmm
Just two as well?
I haven't played around with 2 yet.
Yeah, Shadowfly 2. You can get to one or the other. I mean, you can do Keepa or Countdown. I don't think they do both in Shadowfly 2. It's good. I haven't been there.
They said that you weren't going to be able to use it anymore on the 1st
They
of
pulled that
February.
back.
So
There's a lot of bugs in it still, so they said, I think it was supposed to be at the February 1, you weren't
Yeah.
able to use anymore. But like the last week of January, they put out an announcement in their support group that they were not going to stop supporting it anytime soon until they had all these bugs worked out.
Adele, please start getting used to 2. Start familiarizing yourself with it. I got my eye on you.
Two is nice.
I got it. Got my eye on you all the time.
If you're going to use two, you have more than one person doing RA for you, or like you're both doing RA at the same time. It does not separate the files. You do not have one community files, which for me, having 7 people,
Yeah.
six people shopping, a lot of the time, multiple people shopping at the same time, that gets to be a real nightmare figuring out who's doing, who bought what, when. Like my son and his girlfriend both shop at the same time. Okay, well, who gets credit for this pair of sneakers, Sam or Emma?
Yeah. So man want to get Profit Bandit.
Profit Bandit is it's separate violence.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm getting to the point where I like Profit Bandit better than.
Yep. That's what I want to hear. Yeah. We've been trying to get people to take the leap. We like Profit Bandit.
Just irritating when you gotta pay a fee to get a scanner.
Yeah. Yeah, it's $10. Yeah. It comes with Inventory Lab though, so if you're gonna have Inventory Lab, that's why a lot of people use Scoutify.
Really? What kind of fun is that? Yeah, I got, well, I got 7.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You were not listening to Jackson, so I'm sure you gotta get a nice one.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna. If there aren't any other questions, I'm gonna stop this and then move on to the other session.